My community work really started in sustainability back in about 2004, and then in the last year and a half I got even more involved in the homeless issue. While I was on the city council in Nevada City, it was 2 winters ago, we lost 2 homeless individuals, one in Grass Valley, one in Nevada City, under a Broad Street bridge. And he was indigenous to the community, and so the community took it really pretty hard. Ultimately, I sat down with for about 2 months with a dear friend of mine, Janice O'Brien, and a group of homeless individuals that kind of would come and go. And we basically crafted a strategic plan with 5 goals for the homeless. And the first one was to have public outreach, and not just to the public, but to the homeless themselves, to build that trust back up with them. To do some kind of fundraising for whatever it is we want to do. They know we were going to need money. To have a mobile care unit that would include like a water bladder that would have a shower, a washer, a dryer, a place to just kind of take care of yourself and your belongings. And then the next goal was to have a temporary, homeless encampment until we can find something out more permanent, what we could do more permanently. And the last thing would be something like the Dignity Village up in Portland, which is, again, more of a permanent homeless village that is self-governing, and it's all about reskilling and so on. So I took these 5 goals, and that was my action items basically for the next few years. And those homeless individuals are no longer involved, but they've given us, the launching pad. Then at the beginning of this year, I basically started sitting down with about 20 people, getting together every couple of weeks, and we created what's called Sierra Roots. And it's about advocating self-dignity through healthy housing, food production, and job creation for our homeless population. And what we're doing right now is we were basically looking to say, okay, how can we create some kind of a model? How can we just get something going? And ultimately, a woman named Jane Brevard, who has 600 acres down by Beale Air Force Base, it straddles Yuba County and Nevada County. She said, you know what, I've got some land, let's start here. So ultimately what we did was we plowed the field and we created 6,500 square feet for a homeless garden that is producing. We canned, 61 pints of tomatoes today, and we did basil and pesto last week. So we have this garden going. We could use so much help there. And there's different capacities that we could use some help. And then we also created for right now a veterans campsite, though ultimately we will have the veterans village ready to go by this winter time. So the village, what we have is an outdoor kitchen. That's all the appliances you would imagine, a refrigerator and so on, and a range and a sink and water and plumbing. We installed, we have showers, solar showers. We have a water pond. We have tents, some nice sized tents for these gentlemen right now. And what they do is they actually work the ranch, they work the vineyard, they work the garden, and they start learning how to work with each other. And the other thing that's really awesome that's going on is there's something called Highlands Spring Healing Center, and they're doing equine therapy. Think of the film Buck, movie Buck. Mm-hmm. They use horses and they work with veterans who have PTSD or anxiety issues and so on. And basically, once you connect with a horse, because the horse reflects what you're feeling, they sense you completely. And once you get grounded and calm, then they get grounded and calm, and all of a sudden that's the place where the healing really begins. And so what I have done is I have just back there is just a little flyer that says volunteer form. And if you're interested in helping in a variety of different capacities, I can give you some examples here. One is every Tuesday and Thursdays we have work days where we go down to the garden and we do work. Or we do work at the campsite. And we try to do that regularly. Now we have Salvation Army, that's Major Martha Shepard involved. We have, of course, River Highlands Ranch, and then we also have the equine therapy involved as well, and Sierra Roots, of course. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, one of the things I'm going to be doing this next week is going to different lumber companies and hardware stores and trying to get, was it tongue and groove, what do you call it, siding, because we have about a 26 square foot yurt that we want to put siding so the men can actually move indoors for the winter time. Now, because this is so complex, and I'm sometimes the one driving them down there and we're sitting in the garden, I have to tell you what's really interesting about this is what I've learned about the homeless issue is it's a systemic problem. And what's fascinating about the homeless issue is that it hits us every aspect of our world and our community. By doing very little for the homeless, it's costing on average, national average, about $45,000 to $55,000 per year per homeless individual. And people say, how can that possibly be? Well, when you become chronically homeless, sometimes you get arrested, there's court costs, there's police costs, there's emergency costs, you get sick, you go to the hospital, the county's paying for that, all the schools, they have to have special services, and all of a sudden it averages $45,000 when you include infectious diseases, because a lot of the homeless individuals are actually malnourished. They haven't eaten well for years, possibly their whole lifetime. That also starts to add up. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to come at it from all angles. It's not just a roof over your head, and we're going to have you learn reskill, but we're going to teach you about nutrition. We're going to teach you how to actually eat better. We're also going to do is try to be there for you as a sounding board, because a lot of times many folks become homeless because of just series after series of bad decisions. So how can we help you kind of reflect and really look at your options and then give you the resources? Now, we had just last year the under 60 homeless students, that's like 18 and younger. This year we had about 130. That kind of gives you a gauge on what's happening with the homeless population. And like in all honesty, and I'm sure you can speak to this, the issue is so huge. It's going to take more than 1 or 2 or 3 organizations working on it. It's really huge, and I don't think our economy is going to be turning around, and we're going to continue to see this uptick. In fact, the housing money that we had through Salvation Army is just dried up, so we're going to have a lot more people fall through those cracks. So what we're trying to do with Sierra Roots in the program is create a model program so that we can learn from our mistakes, and whatever we learn, our resources, we're going to put it onto a website, and it's about giving a hand or needing a hand, and basically it's a two-pronged website where if you want to assist the homeless, really mostly long-term and really try to go deeper to it, or you're somebody who actually needs more resources and you're on the edge, or you're just homeless, or you've been homeless, so we want to be able to assist you wherever you are and kind of bridge that gap. So what we're trying to do is learn everything, and then apply it to the website. And that would be, for instance, Halo. They have the Alternative Medical Clinic in the old Apple Center on Commercial Street in Nevada City. They have some children, I think it's Yuba Charter School, who are making these little kits. They're medicinal, alternative medicine kits for the homeless that Halo sells, that when you see a homeless individual, you can actually give this to them, like Tiger Balm and some other things that are good for you, but they can take good care of their health. Or it might be you have some homeless individuals living on your property and you're saying, okay, how can we take care of the sanitation? Or how can I have it on my property, not worry about renter rights, or what are their rights, or how can I make sure there's certain guidelines or code of conduct? This is all the information we want to get onto the website. So basically, when we have our encounters with homeless individuals, we have some tools on how we can meet them and really assist them in a meaningful way. And ultimately, what I'm seeing around our world everywhere is that we're in a relationship crisis with almost everything around us. We're in a crisis, relationship crisis with our education system, with our government, with our economy, with our community, with our healthcare systems, even with our own bodies and the food we're putting in our mouths. We're in a relationship crisis. And really what I'm finding through Sierra Roots is that when I get to know all these individuals and get to know specifically, what they need and what their dreams are and their desires, we can actually fine-tune how we assist them and carry them a little bit further. And so when we need help, everything from supplies for a village, a campsite, somebody who would like to take on a garden project, we have people kind of stepping in and out. We need someone to really be there to kind of manage more and help us with the consistency, canning, drying. We actually need a bookkeeper right now. We need people who are willing to be on call, because sometimes we had a gentleman get bit by a rattlesnake 2 weeks ago. And we had to take care of that, and then we had to make sure he went to acupuncture for the next few weeks so we could actually get him into the healing process. So sometimes we just need people who are available, on a dime to go down there, bring some food or bring something they might need that they've run out of. So I do have a form back there. You can give your information. I have a few items you can check off the box. If there's something I missed, just put it in additional comments. And ultimately what we're trying to do is not just assist the homeless persons, but assist those who want to help and assist, but don't know how. And we can meet you wherever you want to go.